Hello, everyone, and happy MLK Day. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us as a part of the 100 Women to Watch campaign. Today's conversation is called Women Who Connect, Building Power Through Purposeful Networks, and is especially meaningful as we honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a legacy rooted in unity and service and courage, and also in collective action. So, connection has always been a catalyst for change, right? Movements aren't built in isolation or in a vacuum. So, they're typically built through relationship, they're built on shared vision, they're built through trust. And today we're exploring how women in particular can intentionally build networks that are not just expansive, but are purposeful, networks that amplify impact, elevate voices, and also create lasting, empowering legacies. So I am honored to be joined by Dr. Jacqueline King. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Author, absolutely. Author, media leader, global influencer, and founder of Black Women Empowered, a global community of over 4 million women. So, for more than 15 years, Dr. King has been a powerful force, uplifting women spiritually, personally, and professionally. And thank you for inspiring this conversation. Can you start us off? And we will absolutely be happy to be introduced to our other amazing panelists, Dr. Pam Perry, who is also the founder of Speakers Magazine. And you can learn all about Dr. Pam's journey at pamperry.com. Ah, look at that, there's a magazine. And let's begin at the beginning. Dr. Jacqueline King, will you kindly tell us what had you want to talk about have this conversation specifically on today?
Actually, and thank you so much for having me. And I'm honored to be with Dr. Pam. Been following her forever, and she is a powerhouse, amazing, and she's going to teach me some of those dance moves. But my passion, everyone knows, is networking, and for me, uh, we as sisters don't do a great job of networking. So I want to talk about how we can empower other women to get out there, grow your network, meet people. That is so important in growing a business and just in life.
Hmm. Hmm.
It certainly is. It certainly is. And for us to start to re-realize, because we knew it, right? And then the pandemic happened and we were already out and connecting and doing events and things like that. And then we found a way to connect from even behind closed doors. So that way we could continue to do what it is that our mission has called us to do and share our message that we've been called to share. Dr. Pam, will you kindly speak to how it is that you have encouraged people to connect and network and be visible and be seen?
Yes. Well, thank you, Kai, so much for this opportunity to do this on MLK Day. I want to start with one of the quotes that Martin Luther King talked about was networking, and he talked about us being all interdependent. And
Hmm.
the quote I'm paraphrasing because I didn't pull it up, but it says something like, "I can never really be rich if someone else is poor," meaning that we're all interconnected. Like, I can't enjoy my wealth if I know someone else is in poverty. We're all interdependent. And also, too, I like to say that I love books, and one of my mentors is George Frazier, and he used to always talk about your network is your net worth. And I'm holding a book by the saying, "Your network is your net worth," by our fellow panelists here, Dr. Jacqueline King. And I do want to talk to the elephant in the room. Happy MLK Day. So, Jacqueline, are you related to the King family? Is it your cousin? Was it your mama's brother, cousin to remove? I mean, we don't
You're
know
so
because
funny. So King is by marriage, so that's would be no.
But did you do the DNA test at whole ancestry.com?
But that would be his family, because
Right.
that's my maiden name is Parker. But I think we're all actually connected with Dr. Martin Luther King. He is
Yeah.
our brother, our father, our uncle, all of that, because of what he did for all of us. So yes, we're related.
Yes.
To answer
And,
your question.
and I have
But
on my Michelle
I
Obama.
know, I
This is
love
100
them. Which
Women That Connect. She had a birthday not too long ago. Happy birthday, Dr. Michelle. Dr. Michelle. I made her a doctor.
oh, I know
Michelle
that's
Obama.
right.
She can't be a doctor, right? She's an honorary doctorate in my eyes. So it is one of those things, Kai, that I met you through LinkedIn, Dr. Jacqueline online for many, many years. And I call the internet like our underground railroad, like we're
Hmm.
connecting with
It
each
is.
other. And one of the things is that God will have the right people connect with you at the right time. And that's really what this book is talking about. Your network is your net worth. Who you connect with. There was always a saying that, if you are around five broke people, you will be the next, right? So you want to be around your network is going to be uplifting you and supporting you.
Hmm.
And at a certain point as a leader, you're pulling other people up as well, but your network is your circle. And so you want to keep your circle tight. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
And just to to piggyback on that, I think that women, especially women of color, have always kind of fallen back. I was in corporate America for 26, 27, 30 years, I don't know. And so being coming out of management, I was always the only black person. I was always the only woman. And so those type of things can make you shrink back and not speak up or even network. You kind of feel like, like you said, lost in a cloud of, you know. So I think we have to get rid of that. I learned to be bold no matter where I am, to fit in wherever I am. If I'm with the president or the janitor, I can negotiate. And that's where I think that we need to do better at doing. I talk to people, and I'm sure that you do too, Dr. Pam and Kai, probably you too. In the airport, everywhere I go, I'm like, hey, how you doing? What do you do? Da, da, da. I do that because that's how I grew the network to 4 million, talking to people everywhere. You
Mhm.
can't, I mean, you never know where it's going to lead you. Some
Mhm.
people don't know that I met Dr. Matthew Knowles, who is now my boss, because he hired me to do his social media. I met him on LinkedIn. So it really is, it's real.
Yeah, yeah. And I like one of the things too, when you are networking, one of the reasons that people will hear or connect with you if they sense that you care. So they sense you care, you listen. You're not just collecting friends on Facebook to just have a number.
Mm-hmm.
They're actual people, and people have a story. And so one of the things, if you're an introvert, is probably better because you're more of a listener, which is most people like to tell you about themselves. So if you are an introvert and you say, oh my goodness, I can't network, but all you have to do is just ask questions about the other person, and then they would
Absolutely.
love to tell you those questions. That's how you
Mm-hmm.
network. And the more you learn about the person, they may drop clues. I could say, hey, I publish Speakers Magazine. Oh, who's it for? For speakers. Oh, I know someone that could be in that magazine, that kind of thing. So the more you talk, the more you can listen and the more you can really connect. And so when you're talking to someone and they may have a need and you may have a resource, you can put that together. And that's just karma. That's just God's way of just really blessing you, of not keeping your connections separate and sacred, but you're just a person that is that connector that God is using to connect them with the resources that you have for someone else. And vice versa. That will happen for you. If something you have, then maybe Kai or Dr. Jacqueline will put that resource over to me. So we all have to be interdependent as we go with the MLK theme. Interdependent. I'm gonna find that quote. It is so good.
And Dr. Pam, it's funny because, like I said, we've been following each other for years, and I'm a behind the scenes TikToker. You hardly ever see me go live. She's on there with these moves. I'm like, man, that sister is bad. But we actually never really connected into Kai,
Hi. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's
and
it.
so that's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
We are our sisters' keepers.
Mm-hmm.
If I can open a door for you and you can open a door for the next one, that's how we grow.
Yes, yes, yes. That is, and thank you so much, Kai. I'm gonna read the quote. Okay, this is a King quote, and this is the one that I love the most. And it says, "In a real sense, we're all interrelated," and it talks about us being interrelated, and all men are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied to a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. Dot, dot, dot.
Uh,
This is the interrelated structure of reality. And he said that, like he said that like that is so he was so brilliant. Oh my God. He was so
Totally
brilliant
brilliant.
and so young, like so brilliant and
Hmm.
so young. When you read about how early he went to school and went to college, I think he was at Morehouse at 15 and got,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
was like, he was a genius.
Absolutely a genius. I thought the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I know, Kai, you haven't said anything. What you got?
I'm here soaking it up because I'm happy to be in the room with both of you together. And this is what connection looks like. Like one of us doesn't have to be the dominant one. We get to share the mic, we get to share our wisdom, we get to share knowledge. We get to share resources. That's a
Mm-hmm.
resource right there that you're
Yes.
holding.
Yes.
Absolutely. And this is again, right? This is what
Yes.
it looks like in action. In
Mm-hmm.
action. So I'm happy to be here and to be the embodiment and holding space for this to take place. Now, I'm curious for both of you, because you're both incredible leaders. How does leading with purposeful connection actually help people do things like steward their influence responsibly? Because, there's one way to do it, there's another way to do it that's probably not so great, right? But you both have tapped into just a wellspring of goodness. How do you maintain that?
I'll go really, really quick because I don't have 4 million followers like Dr.
Stop
Jackie, right?
playing.
So, but I have always been the type of person that if there's a need and there is not an answer for that, especially being Black woman, I would create it. And I would say that I've even done that since high school. There was an organization that was called DECA. And every time I went to a Black school in Detroit, every time we would go to DECA, we would feel like the minority and we would just feel like why isn't no one really paying attention to it's nothing worse than feeling invisible. So what we did was we created our own type of DECA business leaders, Black business leaders in high school, where we would practice and really sharpen our skills or bring mentors in that look like us in so that we can rise up in the DECA organization. So that was one that we did, and we did newsletters and all that kind of thing. Then the same thing in college. I majored in journalism. And of course, there was like women in communications, and there were all these other white organizations, and they were fine, but they didn't speak to us. So I joined an organization that was national and brought the local one, and it was the National Association of Media Women. And then also, too, became part of the NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists, to the local chapter at Wayne State University. And we brought in Black leaders or people who were in the industry to talk to us as college students. And a lot of them became our mentors. I would reach out to them and say, hey, we're Black women in media. We want to do this and that. And that became a thing. Now you think that's just in college, that's in high school. I did the same thing out of college. It was Blacks in advertising, radio, and television. And again, I noticed that in our industry, there were so few Blacks that we weren't connecting to really make a difference in the industry that was holding us back and holding us down. And so it started like small little breakfasts, and then eventually it grew and grew to like 1,000 people. We gave away scholarships. We had speakers like George Fraser, Ed Gordon. We gave away Black Salute to Excellence. Martha Jean the Queen. I don't know if you all know her. She was like the first Black woman to own a radio station before Kathy Hughes. And so those were the kind of things. Phi Stevens, Terry Williams, who handled all of the PR for like Mary J. Blige, Janet Jackson, Miles Davis. Those were the people that came to this group to really build up us. So as a leader, all I saw was a need and how to serve us all more. And that was really the whole thing, to give out scholarships, to get the industry to hire more Black people, because they always said we can't find good Black people. We can't find anyone. Well, I know a whole lot of good Black people that would be good in communication. So that was one of the things that we did. And we would partner with other groups, Beepers, which was Pat Tobin, Blacks in Black Public Relations, BP, Black Public Relations Society. That was Beepers. And then also there was one in Chicago with Louis Carr called TAP, Targeted Advertising Professionals. And so we didn't compete. We collaborated. These were the groups that were in Detroit. There was Pat Tobin was in LA. I think Beepers is still going. And then also to Louis Carr is now president of BET. So those are some of the people that you stay connected with in relationships. And then even today, I'm in an organization called Black Door Society, which is the same thing. There are women all around the country, but we're opening doors of wealth and opportunity for each other. And it's called Black Door Society. It's about 3 years old. Sharon Morton founded it and reached out to me, met her online. And we then have grown it to about almost 60, 65 women. And our colors are teal. So that's one of the colors that we have on teal. But that is one of the things that we do for each other. We see a need. And what Sharon said is that I know so many talented Black women, and they just need to know each other so that we can build.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my story is very similar, but I was reflecting while Dr. Pam was talking. So in the 5th grade, believe it or not, I almost got kicked out of school for singing I'm Black and I'm Proud. And I had a bunch of girls. We had a little record player, and we were during recess. We were singing I'm Black and I'm Proud. So the principal called my mother and told her that I was militant.
That was the number one song James Brown had. It was in the Jet. Okay, that was like
So said I was a gang leader and I was militant, and so I don't even want to tell you how my mother went off on this person. Rest her soul, but she just went in. So I've always had this really strong Black identity. I came from parents who really focused on, being the best that you can as a Black person, because they grew up in the South and they saw the Klan and all of that. So it's very much in me. I went and worked with the largest electric and gas company for 26 years in New Jersey. And that is a white male dominated field. So, I could tell you stories. I really should write a book about how I got over, because I don't even know. My soul looks back and wonder how I made it through. And that's the God's truth. 26 years, because I went through some stuff. But you know what? I endured, and I found a mentor that helped me through it. But the main thing is I joined, and I was the membership chair for the American Association for Blacks in Energy, the New Jersey chapter. Been part of a lot of organizations, got involved a lot of commissions and boards and all of that, because that's another way to network and to learn, how it's done. Because let me tell you what, white people know how to network. They really do. And I'm always studying people to see what can I do better. I don't care if you white, green, purple, or blue, it don't matter. But I'm always looking for a way to get better. I did decide in 2012, 2011, I can't remember, 15 years ago to start Black Women Empowered because I felt like we needed something that was going to be specifically for us. And we started on Facebook with just 200 women, and the group still exists. It has 200,000 women in it now on Facebook. Um, and I didn't know. I know God. First of all, let me just say, all my whole life is built on God. God has always directed me. So if He gave me the vision, I'm going to carry it out. That's it. And a lot of us get afraid when God gives you a vision. But my quote is, God doesn't give you a vision without provision.
Mm-hmm.
If He's giving you the vision, He's going to provide a way for it to be carried out. But you have to have faith as small as a grain of mustard seed. And so I did that, and people laughed at me. I kid you not. I even had family members that laughed at me when I started, like, yeah, right, whatever. They're not laughing today. And I just kept.
What did they say? The prophet is without honor in their own home. So,
Okay, you already know.
yeah.
But the thing is, no matter what obstacle came up, I just kept going and kept going because I knew that this is what God called me to do. And we do not discriminate. If anybody can follow us, they can join a directory. We don't say that. But I let you know, my primary focus is going to always be Black women. That's what it is. But get in where you fit in. If you're comfortable there, come on in. But yeah, it's been my life. We're now on just about every social media platform there is. Even Blue Sky, Spoutable, something I'm playing around with now. But the thing is, just you got to start. You have to get out there and just do it.
That is good. That is good. So, what was the reason, though, Dr. Jackie, for them having an American Association of Blacks in Energy? What was that for anyway? Right? Like,
yeah. So
people always wonder, like, why do you all have to have a Black newspaper or a Black radio station, or why do you have to have, this and that? Why do you have to? Because you leave us out. Okay. No,
well, and that's what I was getting ready to say. So the company that I worked for, it was 13,000 employees. There was 1,300 Black. The whole thing. That's it. Corinthia Barber, my queen sister, that's a mover and shaker too. We got to bring her on. She's a beast out in Maryland doing big things. But yeah, let me just tell you, you when you're there and you're out there by yourself, you want to see somebody. I mean, I went to so many meetings, and you're just there, and a lot of times their language, what they're talking, you don't even fit in it. You know what I'm saying? And you just get tired. You want to just hear somebody that can relate to you.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons we need it. We need to be able to relate to the conversation. Right?
That is so true. And there's nothing worse than feeling invisible. You really feel invisible, and you're not really taken seriously because you don't have the group and the numbers. And so what you've created was the numbers, and there's strength in the numbers. And so that's always been for someone like Kai, when she's 100 Women to Watch, it's strength in the numbers. And she's identifying women, she's connecting women, because there's strength in numbers. Because sometimes if you feel isolated, you will feel defeated. But if you have someone that is in an organization, whether it's Black Door Society or if it's a sorority, if you're one of the Divine Nine, you are connected with numbers of people who are sisters or brothers, people who know, like, and trust you, people who have your back. And that's important. And so a lot of times we think that if we are in these corporate organizations and we are the only one, we think we are the only one and that we're so special, but really you're not. You need to really reach back and help someone else. It's no success if you say, well, I made it to the top of the mountain and I'm here and I did that. You didn't do it by yourself. You stood on somebody else's shoulders for sure. And so you need someone else to stand on your shoulders. So that's when real true success is. That's when mentorship is important. That's when networking is important. Let me tell you, there's so many conferences that I go to, and they can be a conference, and like you said, 1,000 or so people, and then maybe 100 Black people, you better believe, and I teach this to my daughter, that you nod at the Black person there. It's like, yes, I see you. I'll walk up to you. And then probably 2 or 3 conversations with them in, they probably know someone that you know. What school did you go to? Oh, where did you, what church are you part of? Are you you're a Delta, you're AKA, and it's like all of a sudden there is a connection. But you have to do that nod first to someone and say, hey, I see you. And that's really
Absolutely. I do that in the airport, everywhere I go. I went to Cocoa Beach once, and I don't know if you've ever been to Cocoa Beach. Cocoa Beach is pretty white. Uh, and but I mean, I went there for years and didn't see anybody. And we went and saw a Black person. It was like we saw gold.
it's like, cousin.
Yeah, you know it. But yeah, it's we really do have to acknowledge each other. And my cousin Alexandra Anderson is in Agerston. Sorry, Alexandra is on. Thank you. She always supports me everywhere I go. Thank you, honey. I love you. Yeah. So we really do have to. We have to come together. We're all we got, really, especially in this climate. Who else do we have?
Yes. And be authentic. Be authentic is really, really important, where we can let our hair down and really talk, real talk with people. That's important too, because then it allows us to take off the mask, because we know that we'll be in a safe space. And that's why a lot of these communities exist. That's why the BART was important, or NABJ, or Black Door Society, those kind of things, because we feel that we can be in a safe space and be authentic and really feel supported. That is so important. One of the reasons I started Speakers Magazine.
I was just getting ready to say, I want to hear about that.
And it's going on 9 years old this year, is because I got first of all, I would say that out of all the speakers in the world, Dr. Martin Luther King is probably the best speaker and that was ever, and everyone emulates him. But Black people have that it factor when it comes to speaking and delivering. I don't care what it is. We just do. We have that soul. It's almost like whatever field we get into in terms of singing or whatever it is, we take over. But in terms of our language, we just have a very, so I thought that there were so many great speakers that have stories and testimonies, but we weren't getting the shine. And so I would go and I pitch a lot of my clients to these magazines, and they would just all politely just ignore. And I got tired of it. And I said, well, I'm going to have to create my own. And so Speakers Magazine became that, where it's, we have some people like Ed Gordon on the cover, or we may have someone like Omar Harris, which is a thought leader, or we may have someone like Vicki Wright Hamilton, who's out of Atlanta, who does a movie called The Diary of Successful Black Single Mothers. So, or it could go from Les Brown. He's Black too. So it was always about putting the spotlight on Black speakers. And so within the magazine are other Black speakers, and on the website, speakersmagazine.com, because at a certain point in time, we weren't getting seen. It's like, Michael is a good speaker. He won the Toastmasters. He speaks, he wins a lot of, it's like, but because he's Black, he's not seen. He's a minority. So the Black Speakers is the #1 magazine for Black speakers. It really is. It showcases them. It talks about who they are. It embeds their speaker reels, embeds their podcasts, so that people can book them. Because what we don't want them to say is like what they said with the PR people. Oh, we can't find any good communications people. We can't find any. Well, I've got a whole, like over the last 10 years or so, like 500 speakers that you can go to the page on Speakers Magazine, type in whatever type of speaker you want, business speaker, empowerment speaker, women's speaker, youth speaker, and you can find them, and the information is there. So
I was incredibly honored, by the way, to be one of those, to have a digital cover in your magazine, and to be, analogous with Les Brown, with these people,
and
I
share
think,
it. And people didn't know. People didn't. I didn't know you speak Kai. Yes, I do. And it's like at the first question I asked, what is your speaking superpower? So everybody has a different speaking superpower. So Kai's is different than Les's and versus Dennis Kimbrough or whatever it. So it is to showcase us and let's put the spotlight on Black people. I'm kind of like what you said, Dr. Jackie, where you said your parents came from the South and they saw the things. We're just one generation. I heard this last night. We're one generation out of being totally free, like totally free, being free to vote, free to go to certain places. One generation, because my parents were born in an era where they couldn't go certain places. And so now in 60 something, after that, I'm born where I could do that. It's really amazing. Like, we're just one generation out of having full rights. Absolutely. And then they're trying to take them away. So that's a whole nother story for another day. But we will not go back.
And might I add, I'm going to be in that speaker's. I'm going to be in there soon.
As soon as you fill out that form. Sent in December.
Don't put me on blast.
Yeah. Because don't act like I'm holding you back, Miss May.
No, it's not her. That's cold. She's
been busy. She has 4 million that she's managing and doing social media all over the place for Dr. Knowles. So yeah, it's a lot of moving parts going on right now.
It is, but I admire what you're doing, and
Minnesota,
all of us together, there's so much that we can do as women if we all come together. I like the sister that started Win with Women, I believe it is.
Yes.
I mean, because like I said, if we don't do it, who's going to do it? Mm-hmm. And, I feel like I'm obligated. God has gifted me with so many talents, but God doesn't bless you with talents for you. They're to be able to be a blessing to others. And when you get that, he's going to take care of you. I always say, if you take care of God's business, he takes care of yours. Mm-hmm. And he has never failed me. He hasn't failed either of you either, because I can tell. But mm-hmm. that's a fact, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true. That is so true.
And you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. We saw somebody from Minnesota come on. Just want to say shout out to you. We are definitely in the. I don't know what I asked someone. What is going on in Minnesota? I'd like to have someone from Minnesota.
Oh yeah, We know. I know.
A lot of racial tension in Minnesota always. I don't understand why in the middle of that happens, but they have a good governor over there, so hopefully it can kind of work some things out. But yeah, go on, Kai. I'm sorry.
All good. Thank you so much for that. Just highlighting and acknowledging Minnesota and the situation there. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for tuning in to all of you who are here and listening to this conversation. So this is for us, understanding that many women are conditioned to compete rather than collaborate. And I'm curious, Dr. Pam and Dr. King, what helps women shift into a mindset of partnership and shared success as opposed to the opposite?
Versus a crab in a barrel type of situation. We heard of that. Is that just a term in the Black community? Just a crab in the barrel? Sometimes in a crab in the barrel mentality, it's like, we don't want you to get out. We want you to just stay in this barrel with us. But then there's people that make it to the top, whether it's Roz Brewer or people that, especially Black women who have been the Black woman who was head of MSNBC, Michelle Obama. They have the conscience and the calling to know that I'm only here because I'm to be the example to help other people. And that's really the main thing. No one does it by themselves. I can't even name a person now that just thought that they did it by themselves, because then they're not in history. They if someone were to read their eulogy, it's like, oh, well, they did it by themselves, and who cares? But anyone else, whether it is some of our legends that are in history, whether it's Rosa Parks or Dr. Maya Angelou, they always were doing doing things for other people. Those are the people that matter. And those are the ones that really, I guess you would say, they're listening to the calling, because God calls us all to someone to make a difference in the world. And so those people listen. Oprah. I mean, Oprah came from such a horrific background, but she listened to God. And basically, she built schools and she does all these other things. Yes, she's a billionaire, but her money is making a difference in the lives of others everywhere she walks and talks. So, leadership is a responsibility, but it really is a faith walk and listening to God. It's like so many times leaders feel alone because it's like nobody really gets me, but God gets you. And so keep doing what God said, because what Dr. Jacqueline said earlier was that if he gives you vision, he will give you provision, and he will put people across your path to assist you and help you.
Yeah, and to answer your question, Kai, so for me, and I can tell you, and I don't focus on haters, but I have a gazillion of them. And I don't care, because guess what? That's their problem, not mine. I'm going to stay laser focused. If I can help you, I will. If you're trying to bring negativity into my space, you have to go. I don't entertain it. I just don't. I'm a very positive person. What you see today, you will see tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. And if that's how you want to act, if you want to act, competitive and all that, then go somewhere else with that. Like they say, miss me with it, because I'm not entertaining it. I'm not. There's enough for all of us.
It is.
But guess what? You know what my mentor and my brother and Dr. Knowles tells me all the time. When you look at, he has two successful daughters. Both of them are very successful. That came from hard work. And I listen to him. He'll call me up. He likes to joke because he'll be up at like 4 o'clock in the morning working. Dr. King, you up? No, I was asleep. Okay. Well, we in the entertainment business, he says we get up early. Well, I'm sleeping. So I'll get up. But the point is, that's who he is. And he just turned 75. And he is working like that. Yes. I was just with him over the weekend. He works so hard. It's going to take hard work. And when you're working that hard, you don't have time to worry about what other people are saying or the competition. You just don't have the time.
That's true. That is so true. I have a mentor as well, Rashawn McDonald. He won the top mentor of the year for the Top Speakers Award at Speakers Magazine.
You're talking about the one that is on TV?
Yeah, Rashawn McDonald.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Familiar with him. Mm-hmm.
He gets up at 4:30 in the morning as well. So it must be something.
So there you go. There you go.
It must be something to that 4 o'clock hour that I have never seen. Okay, because I've been
No, I too do it, but not every day.
Yeah. He does it every day. That is his time, and he does all kind of creative. He was a brainchild behind Steve Harvey and all the success that he has right now. Yeah. And one of the things, he has a cooking show. He just loves to cook. He's on TikTok and he's cooking his food, and he's always in a suit and tie. Okay, he's in a suit and a tie or a vest and a tie. I said, how are you cooking greens in a tie in a sport coat and things like that? But anyway, he's funny. And he has a podcast called Money Making Conversations.
I've seen it.
That's one of the things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does. But again, they're north of, I want to say Rashawn is north of 70. He may not be as old as Mr. Knowles, but I know he's north of 70. And George Fraser is 83, and Les, it's the same thing. He's still out there working. I just texted with him last week, so he's still doing the things. And George Fraser said this to me. He says, hey, when you turn 60, you're just getting started. I'm like, what?
I know, that's right.
Just getting started, sir. We should be sitting down. He said, no, you don't. He says, you don't retire, you refire. I'm like, okay, well, that's gonna be one of my articles, sir. I'm gonna steal that from you, okay, George?
I like it.
It is. Networking is important, and relationships. Picking up the phone. Social media is great, but when Kai and I got on the phone, we had such a good time. We just bonded. And so sometimes you just have to pick up the phone. People say, oh, you should not be so accessible and this and that. A part of that, I get it. I mean, there may be people that you don't want to have access to you, but then there's some people that you genuinely would like to connect with, and the only way you can do that is by answering your freaking phone.
Right. Someone just asked, are we getting our beauty sleep? So I don't do 4 o'clock every day. Let me just make that clear. Yeah. But I do. Like this morning, I was up at 4. Yeah.
You look wonderful.
But I don't do it every day because I
Oh,
do take care of myself. And
yes,
a lot
sleep
of
is
times, if I
important.
get up at 4, I'm going to bed early. So it balances out.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we take care of ourselves. We look,
That's it.
we're the 60 plus. We got look,
Yeah,
and we holding on pretty good.
yeah. And friends of mine, we were talking the other day, Black Door Society, looking at our our ABC. She says our is it okay? AC numbers, ACL numbers, I believe it is. Our blood pressure, and then also look at our cholesterol. So make sure
Mhm.
that you watch your ABCs. Those are the numbers to make sure that Black women tend to be high in strokes,
Mhm.
diabetes, things like that. The things that we can
Heart
avoid.
disease. Mhm.
Yes, heart disease. So sleep is the repairer. If we are running ragged, sleep is a repairer. So we do have to do that, and we have to cut out sugar. We have to cut out a lot of sugar. Sugar is of the devil. I just there's no other way to say it. It's just like a legal crack, and okay, I know we weren't supposed to get into this, but it is a legal crack. So stop eating so much sugar. If
Yeah,
you really
I
look at that with the trans Atlantic slave trade, what was the main thing they were trading? Sugar. So why
wow.
would we even want to be a part of having so much sugar in our community? But
Mhm.
anyway,
Mhm.
that's it. Go to the African American museums, and you'll read about all of those things as well. And this one thing, we do need to know our history, because if we don't, we'll repeat it. We do need to know our history
Absolutely.
and be so proud about where we came from and how resilient we are as Black people. If this were to happen probably to any other nationality, they would be mad and angry and probably want to be shooting everybody. But Black people, we are so forgiving
And resilient.
and resilient and so loving. I mean, we really are a very, very forgiving people. I mean, for so many years they had us enslaved.
Mhm.
And Michelle is like, when they go low, we go high. That
I'm gonna need a pair of those earrings.
aren't
I
they
need
cute?
those.
They
I
are
need those.
so cute. I love these earrings. I love her. I mean,
I,
just her new book, her tour, everything that she does. And she's from Chicago. Oh, we talked
okay.
about Chicago the other day, but yeah, she's from the Midwest.
Yeah, we are Midwesterners, you and I. But someone just asked, how did we get our mentors? So my story is pretty interesting because when I was at the electric company, I met a man, and I talk about it all the time. He likes to say, "You did the work," and at the time I was an administrative assistant, and he was a engineer, and he um, got his master's and wanted to get promoted, and they wouldn't promote him, so he left and went to work for the competition. They brought him back as a general manager.
Okay.
He's Irish, red hair, very fair skin. And he called me up one day. He always called me Jack. Jack, where you at? I'm like, well, I'm a secretary in Princeton. He goes, well, I want you to come work for me. I'm like, what? I'm in Princeton. He's in Newark.
Oh,
That's an hour
yeah.
and 15 minutes drive each way per day. I'm like, do I really want to do this? But you know what? I stepped out on faith and did it. He did a roadmap for me to get to my six-figure seller. And he told me the first day I got there, he said, I am going to draw you a roadmap to get you to where you need to be. And he says, is if you follow it, you will succeed. And that's what happened to me. Now, realistically, Black women don't get white men or anybody that just takes them in like that. That's rare. It is rare because I really don't know anyone else. I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I don't know anyone else that got the breaks that I did with, getting a company car and an expensive account and traveling and all that. I don't. And I was there for 26 years. So that's how I got my mentor. He and I are still friends. He just got me a speaking gig 2 years ago at the New Jersey African American Chamber of Commerce, Women Who Empower. I was their keynote speaker, um, and we're still friends. As a matter of fact, he's in my book. I don't know if you saw the acknowledgement. He is in that. He is mentioned in that book. But
Mm-hmm.
that's how I got mine. Like I said, that's rare indeed.
Mm-hmm. It is. And a lot of times it is because the mentor chooses you. Sometimes you can choose a mentor, but sometimes you have to, what I call, you have to serve and just be about doing the business. It's kind of like in the Bible, when you you talk about Naomi and Ruth and Boaz, that whole thing where they were just serving and they just really like going about her
God,
business, and then the
God
person
blessed.
saw them. That person saw them, and so when the person sees you, they are you serve them. My mentor, Dr. Marilyn French Hubbard, Helen Love, they're in their 80s now. But when I first met them, I was in college. And one of the things that I did is like they would do conferences. And actually, Marilyn did a conference with Susan Taylor. It kind of makes me choke up a little bit. Just love her. And she had me working that event. And I worked it for free. And I did a lot of things for free for many, many years. But she introduced me to her whole network.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that touches on another point. Volunteering will open up doors like you would not believe, because I know I have served on so many boards, not paid boards, volunteer boards. And that is a good way to get out there. Oops, did we lose her? Am I telling the truth?
That is true. You have to volunteer.
You're on mute.
Yes. You have to volunteer. That is one of the main things.
We can't
Can
hear you.
me? Okay.
I can't hear. I don't hear anything.
Okay. But yeah, volunteering is something that people don't want to do. It's like, I'm not doing that. I want to get paid. It's like, well, you can get some things that are taught to you or caught. So they can be caught when you're in their space. Proximity has a way of really making sure that doors are open. So the only way to be in proximity with some people is to volunteer. If there's a conference that you want to go to, then a lot of times volunteer for that conference. If it's, let's just say Black Enterprise Women of Power Summit, go as a volunteer. Help them, assist them. They get to know you, know your work ethic. Now, don't go there and start showboating thinking that you one of the keynote speakers and all this kind of stuff. When you go and volunteer and work. So I have seen where I have had people that will come to some of our events that we do and volunteer. And I look back and they all on the red carpet did and all this. I was like, ma'am, did you finish the assignment that I told you to finish? What are you doing? Okay. This is with all the celebrities. I asked you to do a job. So then that made me think the heart wasn't really in it. I was like, oh my goodness. I said, so this is gonna go wrong, sideways wrong a lot. Okay, because we see that you just want to just be out here showboating. So part of it is like, do the work that your mentor asked you to do. Show up where they asked you to show up. Sponsor the things they asked you to sponsor. Tell people about them. Speak nice about them in rooms where they, that's what the mentor-mentee relationship is. I said something as simple as this. It's like their posts.
Yes.
How about that? And Kai does that. She likes my comments. It's like that is part of it. It's like, how simple is that? And people don't realize that that's just part of that social thing of doing. It's part of the networking that you could do. You will be surprised. A lot of journalists, I'm in PR, a lot of journalists will realize who retweets their stories. And then you become part of their ecosystem because they see you. So then when you do have a pitch, you're not cold because you've been reading their information, you've been retweeting it, you've commented on it when you didn't need anything. This is nothing. How do you say it? You never want to go to someone when you only need something because you will get a flat no. So you want to go to someone when you don't need anything and just say, hey, how you doing? What can I do? What can I support you? I have a dear client, Dr. Portia Locke, always says that. She always, whenever she finishes a conversation, what do you need? Is there anything I can do for you? It's like a basic thing. And she is so well loved. I mean, just like she always says, and she means it. What is it I can do for you? Is that so hard to do? That's how you build your network. What can I do for you? That's very, very simple. Dr. Jackie, you do that a lot. You do that a lot because you will say, oh, well, let me introduce you to, I think, whatever the lady's name. I can't.
As a matter of fact, Dr. Melanie Macklin is who I told you.
Yes.
But guess what? She's good friends with Rashawn too. As a matter of fact, she was just on his thing like a couple of days ago.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Not surprising. So she's out of Atlanta then.
She's in Maryland.
Okay,
She's
okay.
in Bowie.
But she can't. She did it virtual because
Hmm.
he does an Atlanta studio as well as a virtual. So yeah, that's not surprising.
But
When I
she also was on Steve Harvey's. I don't know if you guys remember Ask Dr. Mac. She's a celebrity dermatologist. She was in Good Hair, and she's done a bunch of stuff. That's her.
I love that thing, that good hair thing. I really
Yeah,
do.
that's her. She's good people too.
That's a whole nother conversation about the Crown Act. That was kind of like the Civil Rights Act for hair, for Black women in their hair, for because a lot of the anchors, the TV anchors, were
Got
not getting.
fired.
Yes, yes. Remember
If I
Oprah?
had my hair like this when I was working for the electric company, it would have never
Oh
worked.
no, Oprah, when she was in Baltimore, they were like, "Oh, you need a perm," and all her hair fell out. You remember
Oh
that? They were like,
no,
"Oh, you need a perm," and then they sent her to some person that didn't know what they were doing,
I
and
didn't
all her
know
hair
that.
fell out. That's why she had to wear a little short natural for a long time because
I
all
did
her
not
hair
know
fell
that.
out. Yeah.
One thing I also want to point out is that you have to be genuine. I mean, because I get so many people that come to me. They don't even on LinkedIn. They don't even say, "Hey, how you doing? Can you post this on your site?" And you know what I
No,
do?
no.
I move them over to the other. No, I don't say no. I move them
Um,
to the other, and you'll
you
stay
guys.
there until Jesus comes, because I don't go and read those things. I'm serious, because you can't say hi, how are you, before you ask for anything. That is rude.
That is one of the things I'm gonna read from your book, and I love this person too. So I love John Johnson, Susan Taylor, Earl Graves. So you talk about Earl Graves. It says what makes networking work is that it's set up as a win-win situation in which all parties involved get to take something home. Networking is a sharing process. Until you understand that, you don't have much of a network. Earl G. Graves Sr. I miss him. I met him. Oh my God, he was so super smart. He was so super smart. He would just be fit to be tired about what he see going on in the White House about right now. But yeah, this is such a good book, and you start a lot of your chapters with these quotes about networking. Did you find all these, or that was probably something that you had? I mean, you have one here about Maya Angelou. It says, "I've learned that people will never forget what you said. People will never forget what you did, but people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel."
Maya Angelou is one of my favorites.
Oh my
Some
God.
people don't know that I have a poetry book on Amazon that has done very well. It's called Creative Words Flowing.
Ah,
And yeah, so my style is very much like hers because I grew up on her. But yeah, check out both of my books. If you put my name in, Jacqueline King, PhD, both of them will come up. But yeah, she is like my all-time favorite. Actually, there's one dedicated to her, called A Poem for Maya,
yes,
in there.
yes. That is so good. We stand on the shoulders of such mighty people. We really do. Black women, empowered, and 100 women to watch. It's really important to give a nod or uh, uh, how do I say it? To really give accolades to people that have inspired you, people who have helped you from afar.
Mhm.
Like I said, Susan Taylor has always been one of those
Oh,
people from
yes.
afar. I mean, just
Yes,
every
girl.
single month I would read In the Spirit when I would get it in the mail, right? It was like that would be the first thing that I would read is In the Spirit. And then when she made the book of In the Spirit, of all the collections of her essays from In the Spirit, that is, you want to let people know that they inspired you and how they inspired you. The one of the things that this is chapter, it says the connection between passion and productivity. So this is the one here. It says you've got to, this is you said in here, it says you got to follow your passion. You're quoting, I'm sorry. You've got to follow your passion. You've got to figure out what you love, who you really are, and the courage to do that. I believe the only courage anybody ever needs is the courage to follow your own dreams. Miss Oprah Winfrey.
Absolutely.
That is it. That is it. That's in that whole chapter right there that says leveraging your network, and that thing. So this book is gold. It's a
Thank
mighty book.
you.
So it's really, even if you just get it and just read it for the the quotes in here that you put in here that really go along with everything as well.
Thank you so much. I thank you for sharing that. But I admire you, and I'm saying what you're doing and giving us a place to be seen. That is amazing because it's not now, I I'm not a big TikToker per se. I do like to watch the dogs, the dog stuff, and I like to watch you. Right. Okay. Go ahead. But some of the things you can actually just sit back and just learn from. And so that's what I do. If I'm watching, I mean, I do like some of the silly stuff too. But you can grow. The reason I joined TikTok, and this is the truth. So remember when Donald Trump was trying to shut it down?
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything about TikTok. So I said, well, if he's trying to shut it down, I want to know what it's about. And I got on there. I mean, it was like really so much a joke. We got 19,000 followers on TikTok.
And it's really good that you highlight and showcase the women of Black Empower. Yeah. Someone just asked too really quick, Dr. Jackie, about how they get involved.
Well, for us, you can go, well, we're on every social media. So if you go to the directory, blackwomenempoweredirectory.com, you can follow just about all of our social media pages. You won't get all of them because we have probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 on Facebook, but you can get the big one with 2 million followers. And if you just type in Black Women Empowered, our logo's on all of them. They'll all come up. All of our groups should come up. But the directory is really a connector.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because at any given time, we might not have this space. We have to have a backup plan.
Our own.
And that's my plan for the directory is a backup plan where if we don't have this space, we can still connect with one another.
Yeah. Because we don't know. Who knows?
LinkedIn
may shut down. Meta may shut down. They may take their chips and go home and say, I'm done. I'm cashing out. All right. I'm shutting down. I mean, then you have to scramble or whatever, but you should always own your own. And I always tell that to people. It's like you don't want to rent. You want to own.
You want to own. Well, so that's a place to connect with other people. Dr. Knowles is in there. Melinda Williams, the actress, is in there. Kathleen Jones, Trick Jones, her husband, who's a plastic surgeon. Of course, Kai and Dr. Pam are both in there. And I mean, there's a lot of heavy hitters in there.
Yep. And really connect with people authentically. Watch people first. I always tell people, I said, before you pitch people anything, the win-win situation is what is the win for them? What is it they want? And then you can get what you want. So don't just go to someone and just say, hey, do this for me. It's like, no, that's not the way to network. So you do need to know the proper way to network. And really, it's about being kind. It's about being kind.
The other day, a woman came to me and said, she wants to know how she could advertise on my platform. And I says, well, I do have paid advertisement. And so she asked me what it was. And she did pay me. And I threw in more than she expected. I just, you get what you get. And then I just kept pushing it. But that's how you build relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. That is it. You do more than is expected. You really do. You really, really
and
do.
They're going to tell somebody else. You know what? I went to Dr. King and I paid it for advertising and she gave me like 5 days of advertisement or whatever, Kai knows.
Yeah. I do for you both. Will you kindly let everyone know the best places to find you so that way they can connect with you, they can partake in these things and these services and the things that you both offer? Dr. Pam, do you mind if we start with you and then we'll end with Dr. King?
Yes. So they can go to pamperrypr.com. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, make sure you get the free resource of 7 things that the media looks for. Immediately you'll get it. You'll see, oh my God, that's what I need to get media. Those are the 7 things. So go all the way down, sign up there, pamperrypr.com. And then you'll stay in contact with me in the Speakers Magazine. And then I have coming out today, the Leading Edge Network, a showcase of all of the speakers that were at Speak Sell Shine. So I'm sending that out today. So make sure you go to PamPerryPR.com to get on that list. So that'll be going out today as well. It's going to, Leading Edge Network is a new TV station on leadingedge.tv. And it's on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. So it's launching on MLK Day. Keeping the dream alive. Okay. That's the whole thing. Just keeping this whole media thing going. That's, if we own our message, our own narrative, we really do win. So that's one of the things.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so honored to have you as my little sister, because I'm just slightly older than you.
Just a couple of years. Okay.
It's more than a couple. No, we're in the same ballpark.
Yes.
But we look good, girl.
Well, when you said that song, it says "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud." That whole song, that whole James Brown era, every day I was in red, black, and green. I promise you. Every day I was, and then I was trying to put my hair up in an afro, but I can only do afro puffs. But yeah, I was doing the thing.
That's funny. Well, for me, really, you can reach me at CEO at blackwomanempowered.org. But you can also go to the directory. You can follow all of our social media. And I believe if you send an email through that, it goes to our info at blackwomanempowered.org, and we will, definitely respond to your emails. But definitely on social media. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Pinterest, Tumblr. I dropped Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky. And I'm on Spoutable and all over Facebook.
And LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn, yeah. So follow me, connect. And I don't have, so I did change up where you cannot send me a friend request, because I was getting like 20 a day. And I just didn't have time to screen them all. So you'll have to get me through, it says contact me here. You have to go through the link there and do it that way.
Very good, very good. I don't know if y'all can see that. So keep dreaming. You go, girl.
I love it.
Yes. So keep dreaming. That is it. That's for you, Kai. Keep dreaming. That is it. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, by the way, Kai's going to be broadcasting on our network. We're working on that right now.
Good.
Super excited. I love just the way that we get to be in the mix with each other. We're talking here on this platform, and we're having this amazing conversation about MLK and all the things surrounding. But then there's a conversation behind the conversation. It's a reminder that it doesn't stop. Like, networking doesn't stop when you hang up the phone. Like, it starts again once you pick it up. It starts again when you make an introduction. It starts again when you plan a panel discussion. And it is such an honor to be here with both of you and to continue that relationship. So yes, that's happening. I cannot wait. Dr. King and Dr. Perry, being on the digital cover of Speakers Magazine, it helped me to show people what's possible without experiencing the competition. People were congratulating me, and I thought that it was going to attract more of the opposite, when in actuality it had me realize that we are here for each other. We are, able to share success. So as I continue this conversation with Dr. King on her platform, I'm really happy to bring that energy with me and continue to demonstrate what we can all do together.
And also, I'll be interviewing Dr. Perry too. We're coming up with a date for that, and so we can get downright personal with her on that, and that's coming up too very soon.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. And always keep believing in your dreams, no matter what. Keep believing in the dreams. That if your God gave you a vision, please keep it going. And if you need support, join one of the networks, reach out to any of us. We are here to encourage, empower, and inspire.
And remember, your network is your net worth.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing MLK Day today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Renee, Keisha, Joe. It's a lot of people over here. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.